One Friday in spring, we were out on the yard for lunch recess when one of the students in my grade 8 class, SB, was being bullied by a group of other students in the class. At the climax of this altercation, SB became enraged and assaulted a student in my class, ZS. The student being assaulted did not respond with violence, but simply laughed at SB as they were punched, kicked, and even kneed in the head by SB. The other students that were observing began laughing and yelling things at the two, and SB began to cry. The teacher on duty intervened, and both were sent to the office. Neither SB nor ZS were seen from again that day. On Monday morning, after the students were all seated, ZS and SB were not there. The homeroom teacher, Mrs. R, went to the front of the class, visibly upset. Roughly paraphrased, she said, "There is something I need to talk to you about in regards to SB. This is something that is very serious, and it is very important that you listen very carefully to what I say. I have been talking with SB's parents, who have told me that SB tried to commit suicide. I know there has been bullying going on in the yard and in class. This needs to stop, now. When SB comes back, you all need to be supportive and show them compassion." The students in the class were all very silent and somber. I remember looking around at the other students, and the faces I saw were those of shock, guilt, and shame. These are all of the details I remember about the incident, apart from the fact that there were no other instances of bullying with SB. One of the first things that should come to mind is the legality of Mrs. R disclosing information of this very personal nature. The Ontario College of Teachers Ethical Standards for the Teaching Profession outlines the four main areas with regards to which teachers need to conduct their behavior. The document states that a teacher's professional relationship with students and parents should be based on trust, and this entails the idea that confidential information should not be disclosed to outside parties without express permission. It is my belief that the decision to disclose the attempted suicide of SB was agreed upon by the teacher and the student's parents to stop the bullying that SB was being exposed to. Teachers need to be committed to the well-being of students through professional judgment and empathy. The ESTP demands that OCT members honor human dignity and emotional wellness, and to model respect for social justice and confidentiality. While Mrs. R may have had good intentions, I feel that SB's dignity may have potentially been compromised by telling their classmates about the suicide attempt. I don't believe that Mrs. R took the appropriate steps to ensure her actions modeled respect for confidentiality. I think social justice was demonstrated quite well. By discussing the bullying that was taking place and the effect that it was having on another student, it made the bullies and bystanders aware that the behavior was very serious and detrimental. The teacher's explicit display of sadness emphasized the gravity of the situation. I believe this was a necessary and appropriate action with regards to social justice. The serious discussion of a bullying episode involving everyone concerned is an important step to take whether at home or at school. The seriousness with which adults take the bullying can be enhanced by exaggerating the formality of the occasion and of the discussion. I believe if the bullying incident on Friday was dealt with differently, the attempted suicide at home may not have happened. Instead of both students being sent home immediately, the students should have been brought into the class at some point after lunch recess to observe a discussion on bullying. Having the two students silently observe and listen to the other students discuss the effects of bullying would accomplish two key goals. The victim would see that the act was not completely focused on him, and the bully would learn how his actions negatively affect the dynamic of the relationships around him. Talking about bullying as a type of behavior would alleviate the anxiety in the victim and allow the bully to reflect on their actions. Involving the onlookers as a part of the problem would help in this situation as well. My goal would be to sensitize the students to the processes that operate during playground bullying. Those who passively observe bullying behavior and do not intervene may believe that they aren't harming the situation. Since they are not intervening or protesting, this sends the message they are actually supporting the bullying behavior. Often, these students recognize what is happening yet do not know enough about their roles, emotional reactions, and responsibilities to take viable actions. By explicitly identifying the roles present in bullying episodes, it provides empathy for the victim and increases the likelihood that these students will either dissipate or intervene, directly or indirectly, when future incidences occur. Some strategies I would implement when facilitating these discussions would require teacher participation to provide encouragement for student contributions, clarify unfamiliar events or ways of thinking, and support and comfort students who reveal pain and suffering. A follow-up with SB and ZS would review the themes discussed in class. ZS should show compassion for SB and acceptance of responsibility for their actions, while SB should be encouraged to accept the resolution of the situation. I would look for evidence that ZS and SB show understanding of their roles in the incident. At this point, the two students would be sent home and a call would be made to the parents of both students. In these conversations, I would outline the incident and the action taken to resolve the issue, but would not disclose the fact that either student was suspended, nor the identity of the students involved, as this would be illegal according to the standards of practice of the OCT. Hopefully, this would prevent the situation where SB is overwhelmed by anxiety and depression about the events that occurred and the suicide attempt would be averted. Follow-up discussions about bullying with the class would help with the consolidation of the concepts of bullying and the roles that students play in these incidences.